I forgot. I was going to record it. So it's recording now. All right. So anyway, for those of you who don't, so before we dive into this whole thing, some of you know this about me, some of you don't. So as being the CEO and founder of H7, I have essentially spent the last almost 13 years trying to refine my own relationship building skills, connect with people on a deeper level, serve from the highest level, and of course I ask for stuff. And I've always kind of prided myself on win-win relationships. And that's not always easy for everybody. It's also not always easy to understand what a win-win relationship looks like, because sometimes it gets skewed, meaning that there are people that are out there networking right now that are just selling to the other person that they're sitting with. There are people out there that are out there serving other people's brains out and not asking. This tracking form solves that problem. Okay. So as you can see, as we go through this, this is designed for you to record the things that you're doing. Now, you can print it off. You can use it as your document to this living, breathing organism that you're going to work through together as you're networking, or you can title your stuff in your CRM to match up. Okay. So while everybody's looking at this thing, before we dive into this, does anybody have any questions? All right. Without further ado. All right, over here on the ABCD, of course, is recording somebody's information. Okay. So let's go straight to E. CSA, connect, serve, and ask. Just open that up there so it's not confusing. All right, so this is your first intentional one-to-one. So think of yourself, think about or reflect on the people you meet with, okay? Reflect on, okay, well, I've met with 5 people this week. How often do you find yourself not knowing what took place at the end or during that one-to-one? Like, how often do you think that, what do you think that frequency is? Like, nothing comes of it, and then you kind of move on with your life. How often do you think that happens? Most of the time,
probably less between the persons. I think it varies, but I would say at least 25% of the time.
That just virtually nothing happens. Okay. Anybody else want to say?
I'd say 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, good. Thank you. That's good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty high.
75%.
75%. Who was that? Was that Linda or Susan?
That was Crystal.
Crystal. Okay. All right. Well, we're about to change that, because now we're going to take a moment and write some stuff down. Not in this moment. I mean, like out there networking. Okay. Sorry. All right. So you need to know when you've met with this person. Okay. So you're just going to write down the date. Now, this will make more sense in a minute, why you would even record that. If you find yourself meeting with people and you can't go past letter E because you have no data, there's 2 things that can be done. One, you can go back and meet with them again for like 15 minutes to catch up, to fill in letter F and G. Or you can move on. Now that has to be recent. So if you have a list of people that you have met with over, let's just use 2020. Let's say you met with 50 people and you can't fill out F or G. That immediately is a key performance indicator that something about how you're networking is not working. Any comments about that?
Truth.
What's that?
Truth.
Yes. So throughout this track system, because this is the most simplest form of tracks, it's laced with key performance indicators or metrics, data. And the data will support your networking, and you're networking in the right direction or you're not. It's very black and white. That's what that is designed to do. So let's take a break just for a moment, take a step back, talk about tracks for a moment. Tracks stands for Total Referral Advanced Conversion System. Now I'll type that in the chat box when I'm not sharing my screen, so please don't let me forget. So Total Referral Advanced Conversion System. Now, we're not saying that people are transactions, just so we're on the same page. We're just measuring what we're doing. And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if you're not measuring, I got 100 coaches or other people that will vouch for me that says, if you're not measuring what you're doing, it's probably not working, right? Vernon, I'm speaking your language, right?
Yep.
You got to measure what you're doing.
Yep.
Now, I'm not trying to come on here and be a coach, okay, guys? So I'm just a referral consultant. I know a few things very well, all right? So with that being said, before we move on, how many of you have met, just from the crowd, how many one-to-ones have you done this year? I'm gonna stop sharing for just a moment. I need to be able to see you. How many one-to-ones have you done so far this year? Just doing some level of tracking here. Who wants to be my guinea pig here? Let's go with Susan.
Ooh, I'm counting.
Oh, you're counting. All right, we'll give you a second. Go ahead, count. How many one-to-ones have you done this year? I'll put the tracks thing in there real quick. That's a lot.
Guarantee she probably has 25 already, if not more.
I think I've done 17.
She's done more than I have, and I'm close.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Let me see. One. Two.
She's gonna be your all-time winner, Clayton.
All
As of today, 18.
right, 18. All right, thank you. All right. Okay, of the 18, if you were looking at this screen of the referral, hold on just a second. How many of them did you make introductions for? And I would like for you to guess on that. You don't have to be perfect on that. Did everybody you meet with get something out of it?
No.
Okay. How many do you think got something out of meeting with you?
9.
Okay. How many of those did you get something out of?
I'd say 7.
Okay. All right. So 7 out of 18 appointments. Now, did you get 1 or more out of those 7? Or I mean, 2 or more, any of them?
Some of them, yeah.
Someone, okay. All right. So those 7 people, well, those 9 people that you either gave something to and got something out of, those would fit just fine on these sheets.
Mhm.
And you would be able to fill out all the way to I.
Mhm.
Of the other 9 that you can't fill out through I, but you met with them, the solution to create F through I, if you so desired, would be to do a 15 or 20-minute CSA follow-up call specific to who would you like to meet and do you know this person? Make sense?
Mhm.
That could help you fill out F through I. Now, obviously, 100% of the people you meet with are not really great matches, okay? So it's not like the other 9, just nothing came of it because of, you didn't ask or they didn't ask. Not all the 9, but I would say a percentage of them. Maybe you just had too much fun and just got distracted. There's probably a percentage of them, so we're not trying to say that every person you meet with lines up to be a center of influence. Okay. But using the 9, 2 of them, you didn't get anything from. Do you think it was because you didn't ask or they didn't have the connection?
I think they didn't have the connection.
Okay. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody has every connection. So the 9 that you did get something from moves you over to letter J. Now, 9 is what you gave. 7 is what you received. Of those 9, did you get something out of that as well?
I think so on those.
Okay.
And the other part is some of them I did schedule a second meeting already because there were a couple people, they only scheduled a half hour and they said, oh, I want to talk to you more. So I think more is coming from that.
Okay.
That
Okay.
where you use that second meeting, even though it wasn't, you just didn't finish, or would you just still track that under E?
Well, so this is based on an hour's worth of meetings. This is based on an hour's worth of meeting. Some people can get it done in 30 minutes, but if they need more information, that's okay. The need more information, though, if it's more about what you're doing, you would be better off saying, hey, this time, so let's all look at letter J, second meeting. This time, let's pitch each other. I want to know what your sales process looks like. And then you can share about what your sales process looks like. Those people that make it to letter J and there's data to fill in, these are now your COIs. These are your COIs. That's how you identify them in a perfect world, right? Meaning that, if all we ever did was work with people that only share our target market, well, it's kind of impossible. We can't say, oh, well, Shirley doesn't share my target market, so I can't work with Shirley. You know what I mean? We don't do that. I mean, that's not what the community is based on, because opportunities can still arise. So you got to keep those relationships. So anybody that fits in letter J starts to create, that's your COIs. And as you can see, so as I can rotate this a little bit. All right. All right. Now we get over to letter J. Actually, before we go any there, anybody have any questions about that? Let's take a breath. That was a lot there. So let's take a breath. So where are we at with that?
I have a question, and sorry, it's probably just me not knowing the acronyms for being a newie, but CLI, I honestly don't know what that is.
It's COI, sorry.
Oh, COI,
Yeah. That stands for Center
Center of Interest,
Influence.
Center of Influence. Okay,
I put it in the chat box for you there.
thank you.
Center of Influence. So this person now, not only did they meet you once, but now they want to meet again. This is now going to be these are your people. All right, these are your people. Okay. Other questions or comments about that, what we've done so far?
Question about if you get two names from somebody, they give you two names. I think you started to talk about that, but I didn't quite follow what you do with the second name that they give you.
The second introduction
Yeah.
that they're offering to make you make
Uh-huh.
the data just goes in the same block. You can, like I said, this is the most simplest form. So if I were, I'll just use both blocks, right? So number of introductions, names of introductions, it might be Linda and Vernon. That's all I'm saying to do. Just keep a little bit of notes on there. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So however many names. If they give you 3 introductions, whatever. Other questions or comments? Now, for those of you I've met with recently, have you noticed that I have tried to make introductions to you? So so basically, forget about being the CEO and all that stuff. I'm looking to be a center of influence to every member. And that's why I always say to call or text me if you need something else. I'm trying to be the ultimate resource. And so that's why I like to talk to our visitors, as many as I can, make them interconnected, be that COI from the beginning. Susan, you want to say something?
Nope, I think you do a good job with all that, Clayton, in connecting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to demonstrate essentially the power that when you harness it of spending time with people and asking for your referrals and helping them and serving them and doing all of that, that enables you to become the ultimate resource to that person. And then win-win as you meet again. So other questions or comments so far? I know you guys were looking, some of you were really looking forward to this. So how's it going so far? Is this what you wanted? Is this what you had hoped and expected?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Good. All right, back to sharing the screen here. Okay, now, second meeting. In that second meeting, you expect something. I mean, hey, if we're going to be at COIs together, we're going to be helping each other. Let's do it now. Right? Now, the pitch, actual letter J on the screen, the pitch is extremely important. This pitch that you do, now I'm not monitoring it, okay? This is just what you guys are doing, right? You're just out there doing your thing. This pitch is derived from July of 2016. I had been creating this H7X program, and I had failed for 3 years straight. I created like 20 groups and they were busts, okay? And so what happened was I had this group, there were 10 of them, they were all exclusive seats, the whole thing, one person per industry. It was beautiful. They all shared the same target, everything was great. And so we were all sitting around a table at one of the meetings. I said, well, how's the referrals going? And I was just checking in. They're like, they're coming in a little bit. I said, well, this is designed for you to, have some level of expectation. This is a money-making opportunity every time you're together. And when you're together and you're in this money-making opportunity, you should be moving each other's business forward. So when you come to a meeting like this, you should expect this. And they said something like, well, we all know each other really well. I don't know if we can do anything more. And I said, well, have you pitched each other? And they said, well, no. I said, let's do that. Now, this is a beta team, okay? Way back. It just slipped right out of my mouth. And the water turned on after that. And it worked because now each other could see, well, I could now see what that sales process looked like of the other person. And now it's easier to make that referral because now I can be their champion.
Mhm.
And so it really converts this one singular relationship into you're starting to behave like a team. And so that's where that comes from originally.
Yeah, it's
So-
interesting, Clayton. I recently was in a networking group and they were kind of running out of steam. And I suggested that we do that, basically have a deep dive into it. And it really did make a big difference.
Sure does, yeah. Now, all of our teams that form, so anytime you see like a new group forming, Brett, you're still on the call?
Yep.
Then you guys go through that?
Yep. Yeah. About 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they went through all of that rigmarole to become a team. And they had 8 of them on their team. Boom, 30 people there this morning. I mean, it's like a work of art. And it really is because those pitches just kind of put you over the ledge and say, oh, yeah, okay.
Now I know
I can
what
be
you
your
do.
champion.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then you're going to have introductions. Again, I'm sure it might even be tighter because as you notice, did anybody notice that I didn't say in the introductory in letter F, G, H, or I that does it say referrals to prospects? It doesn't, does it? Why do you think that doesn't say that? Why do you think I would not put that in there?
Just looking to make a relationship to connect.
Yeah. So trust is earned when Brett asks for something. I asked Brett for something. I asked Brett, how can I help him? Brett gets vulnerable. Brett shares he needs this connection. I say I got that connection. And then I make that connection. What do I got? I got a little more trust, don't I? Don't he trust me a little bit more? And then vice versa, right? So that's why it says, how many did you make to that other person? Or I'm sorry, how many did you receive from that person? Because if ever you walk out of that one-to-one and you did not ask for anything, you take the power away from the other person earning trust. So you can't skip it. I don't care. Throw up a softball. I need to meet an insurance agent. Something that gives that other person a chance to earn your trust. Don't take that away. Okay? All right. So we come out of the second pitch or the second meeting. We go through KLMN. And this is where your relationship can now begin to evolve and operate singular or in unison is the word I want to use. Sorry. So now I'm going to call up my new COI every 30 days and I'm going to CSA them. Hey, Vernon, how you doing?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Doing great. How'd those introductions go that I made you?
Terrific.
Yes, good. Hey, that's great. That's great. Hey, the last time we met, you were telling me about this one job you're doing. How's that going?
Outstanding. Thanks. I couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Vernon, who would you like to meet? Is there anybody you're looking for right now? Maybe I can make a connection for you.
Yeah, I'd like to be introduced to a CPA.
Yeah, I got one of those. Hey, do you know any business coaches, Vernon?
I do.
Can you introduce me to them?
Yeah, I probably have a few.
Right.
How many you want?
Hmm, how about just one to start?
Do you know Susan?
All right.
No.
So that's a CSA literally in 5 seconds. You can move it down pretty quick. It don't have to be a full 30 minutes or anything like that. You're doing a check-in on your relationship. And now as you start taking, you start empowering yourself to start looking at this spreadsheet and saying, okay, I'm now measuring my experience within this community and building my own network. Questions, comments? Has anybody ever done anything like this before?
You know me, Clayton, that's what I was asking for. What is that? What's that word I'm trying to think of tech? I'm not a tech person, so you know me, I've been looking for something simple.
I made it just for you.
Illiterate, computer wise.
Yeah. So
There you go.
other comments, questions about that?
Yeah,
Good, Sandra.
it's making it very clear that in spite of the temptation to do so, we cannot skip steps.
Good.
Taking shortcuts like, oh, we met. So we've met a couple times and you've seen me in the meetings this week. Sandra, where you haven't helped me yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I talked to a member today. He's like, he was telling me on the phone, he said, I didn't get a lot out of H7. I'm like, really? That's pretty. He's like, I'm not getting a lot. I'm like, really? That's pretty amazing. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I haven't seen you in months. And he said, oh, well, with COVID, it's been really busy and everything else. I said, well, yeah, we went through COVID too. We're still in business. We're still here. You just haven't been. So nobody knows you. You have no friends. He didn't like that, but
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, you can look back and so, yeah, you can't skip steps, especially
Clayton.
in your relationships. Go ahead, Vernon.
Yeah, I have a question. How many of these can you handle at one time? I mean, I know you've got 1,000 and you can do it, but you've been doing it a while, so.
You talking about close COI relationships?
Yeah.
So that'll come down to your goals and your strategy for growth, right? Yeah, that's part of my strategy for growth, right? Is to CSA as many people as I can and all that stuff. Okay. But the reality is let's just talk about you. If you're looking to expand across the country, well, you can't skip like 40 states to get to Cali and then be like, I don't know why I'm not doing any business in Ohio. Well, if you had some relationships in Ohio, then that would work,
Right.
And so it really just comes down to your strategy and your goals as to how far you want to go. But keep this in mind, you should always have multiple COIs that you can refer a client to, because it should be client centric when you're making those referrals, when the opportunity arises. And so you should be able to handle that. If somebody's asking me for, I had an electrician, he's a member for a long time. He doesn't come much, but anyway, he called me up last week. He said, I need a payroll guy. I need a CPA, and I need somebody that sells me life insurance, and then I need health insurance. I said, okay. And so I sent him, I made that decision based on geography and personality. But I shouldn't tell him I don't know any of those, right? I should have relationships with those people. So it's client centric. So that's how I make my decisions anyway.
Thank you.
Sure. Other questions or comments about that?
Any thoughts about the emails that you send us after a meeting with everybody's contact information and how to integrate and track that?
What do you mean by integrate and track that?
Sort of keeping track of who is at the meeting, who I want to follow up with, heard them say something that I can either help them with or, vice versa. Just seemed like a good person that we should meet with.
Mhm.
So, there's this email that you send out and then the tracking form once we start meeting.
Mhm. No, you can reach out to them. You can use those lists, call those folks. They've all signed in. They're participants in the program. And so you don't have to go to a ton of meetings as long as you're meeting people, right? I mean, the network is yours. What are you going to do with it? So being in all 4 B2B calls on a weekly basis is not going to maybe do as much for you than meeting with people from that B2B program. It's just not going to do anything for you. So it's better to definitely pull those off, call those people, schedule one-to-ones, start tracking that, and you can see what they do and such, essentially.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sandra.
If I can chime in, because I'm probably not the only one that has had maybe a bit of guilt or felt like I should be doing a whole lot more. It's not a competition. We can only do what is effective for where we're trying to get to and as much as we can do. So, if you can have 5 solid one-to-one meetings in a week as opposed to 15, and that works, then consistently do that.
Yes. Whatever works for you and your schedule and your comfort level. And when I did those 3,000 in 48 months, I was doing a lot of one-to-ones a week, as you can imagine. So, but that seemed like I was all I was doing. I would go to meetings, schedule one-to-ones, all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's true. Other comments or questions?
Just remember also, if you're out and you don't have your list with you and you remember the person's name, guess where you can find it?
Yeah, Forge Pro. Yeah.
Forge Pro.
Yeah. So our app in there, so that's a good segue. I was going to bring that up. So those members that become your COIs, they become your favorite members in Forge Pro. And you keep notes in there on them. You can set reminders to schedule your CSA calls, and it kind of fills in some of those gaps that are in this referral tracker form.
Wow. Clayton, on the spreadsheet that you sent out from the meeting last week, I thought you had some of the folks highlighted, and I thought that was because they were in the meeting.
No, that's because the VAs were messing with me, and they
Oh.
that are in the group, and they were going into the spreadsheet and they were messing with it, and like one of them made it one color and another person made it another color, and I'm busy, that's all.
Okay, gotcha.
No,
I thought there was a secret message there.
I probably should fix that.
Yeah.
Maybe other people think that. So I don't know. All right, so I want to show you one more thing if you don't have any questions or comments. So have you guys at least heard of what we've talked about with the CSA accreditation? So we took some folks through that on Friday, which was awesome. But I want to show you just a glimpse of. So remember the CSA tracker. So what we did was, in the accreditation was, it's the same kind of spreadsheet, except if you look at the bottom here of the spreadsheet itself, it says prospect, and then it says prospect, and then your client. And so there's a way to use the same CSA meeting style with your network as you would with your prospects and your COIs, and that's what we do in the accreditation program. So for example, if you go into a one-to-one and you don't know they're going to buy something from you, right? You're just doing a one-to-one and they want to buy something from you. Well, they go on this side instead of your network, and your follow-up will kind of evolve. So I just kind of want to show you where it can go, just from fully understanding the CSA meeting style. So anyway, this is just basically foundational stuff. So So what's one takeaway from this? We're almost done now. You have one takeaway? From
It's a
this?
great way to get organized.
Okay, good.
It is.
Double A.
I never realized that if I didn't ask somebody for something, that I was taking something away from them.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
I never, ever in a million years would have ever thought that.
Yeah, so the type of person you are, Double A, I have a good understanding of you. I can see why you may not ask. Okay. What happens is in the trust building process, after you're serving and, while you're serving and asking, if you don't ask them for something, even if it's to go to a meeting with you, right? Let's just say it's a meeting, you want somebody, just ask them something. And when they follow through with it, they earn some credibility there and some trust with you. That helps them. It helps them that you trust them.
Yeah, I just never looked at it that way.
Yeah. Good. Other takeaways? That's it? Was it too much information?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm thankful this is actually my first day and I get to start with this because I feel like I'm getting a good foundation. So thank you.
Yeah, good. You're welcome. Yeah, we're going to rotate these through, okay? So we do the CSA meeting, which is the one-to-one, the intentional one-to-one. We did that at the beginning of the year. Then we do Ask Better. And then last week we did templates. And I show you how to, by the way, the app was fixed by the next morning for those of you who were on that call. But anyway, how to use templates to actually be more engaging, more efficiently with your network. That's what we did last week. And then now we're doing this one. So next week in February, we'll start back up the CSA meeting.
Oh, so you'll go through the whole thing?
Yeah, we'll cycle them through each month. And so what really can help is I don't always give all of the information in every meeting. I'll think of something and I'll be like, oh, I forgot that. And then I'll add it in. So I always try to add new stuff into it. A little intentional because I don't want people to like gloss over like, oh, I know how to do that CSA meeting. If you did and you're using your referral tracker and you're not getting any referrals, you're not giving any, you heard it, but you may not grasp it all the way. It takes a minute. So anyway, any other takeaways anybody want to share?
Question,